What if I told you that there are cities where time simply stopped? Abandoned places where houses, schools, and hospitals are still standing, but completely empty, as if the residents had disappeared overnight. Cities where silence does not bring peace, but an inexplicable fear, a feeling that something there is still present. Why were these places left behind? What happened that no one ever came back? Some of these cities have been consumed by disasters. Others carry dark legends that scare even the bravest. There are reports of mysterious lights, voices in the dark, and shadows moving among the ruins. These are places that seem forgotten by the world, but that hold secrets that defy logic. Are these cities really empty? Or is something still in them, waiting to be discovered? What we reveal in this video could completely change the way you see these places, and the last city on the list is so macabre that to this day no one dares to sleep there. Are you ready for this journey through the scariest places in the world? So stay until the end, because what you'll see here might make you think twice before entering an abandoned city. Before we continue, I need to warn you, what we are going to reveal here could completely change the way you see these places. And the last city on the list keeps a secret so macabre that few people dare to talk about it. But to get there, I need to know if you're really ready to unravel these mysteries. Then, leave a like and subscribe to the channel right now, because here we explore the darkest mysteries and stories the world tries to forget. And if you think you've seen it all, wait until you discover what's hidden in these ghost towns. What really happened in these places? Are they really abandoned? The answer may be far beyond what we imagine. These ghost towns are not just empty settings, but silent witnesses to macabre stories and mysteries that have never been fully explained. In some, the population disappeared overnight, leaving behind furniture, clothes, and even personal belongings as if they had fled in a hurry. Others were consumed by tragedies so intense that no one ever had the courage to return. Time seems to have stopped in these places, but reports say otherwise. Inexplicable sounds echo through the deserted streets. Strange lights appear in the windows of abandoned houses, and some people claim that these places are not as empty as they seem. And what makes it all even more disturbing is that over the years, many of these cities have become true magnets for explorers and the curious. But not everyone comes back the same. There are reports of people who spent nights in abandoned cities and, after that, were never the same. Some speak of shadows watching them from a distance. Others say they heard whispers coming from nowhere. But are they just stories? Or do these places really hold something that shouldn't be discovered? If you believe the mystery is real, write in the comments. The first city on our list is perhaps the most famous among the most haunting abandoned places in the world. Pripyat, Ukraine, was the scene of one of the greatest tragedies in modern history, the Chernobyl nuclear disaster. Built to house plant workers and their families, the city prospered until April 26, 1986, when an explosion at the plant released a deadly cloud of radiation. Within hours, the city was hastily evacuated, leaving behind a scene frozen in time. To this day, strolling through Pripyat is like stepping into a photograph of a past abruptly interrupted. Schools with open notebooks, toys scattered on the floor, apartments with intact furniture, as if the residents were going to return at any moment. But what makes this city even scarier is not just its history, but the reports of those who venture through its silent streets. Urban explorers say they have seen flickering lights in buildings where there has been no electricity for decades, heard footsteps echoing through empty hallways, and even heard whispers coming from the shadows. Some believe that these phenomena are just echoes of the past, while others wonder, is radiation the only danger here? Now, we leave Europe and go back in time to the American Wild West. Body, California was a prosperous mining town in the 19th century, full of gold, saloons, and stories of crime and violence. But as mineral resources were depleted, the population began to disappear. What was once a vibrant city full of life has become a forgotten place, inhabited only by the icy wind that blows through its dirt streets. However, Body is not only known for its history, but also a frightening legend. They say that whoever takes any object from the city, be it a piece of wood, an old coin, or even a brick from one of the houses, will be cursed. For decades, Bodhi Historical Park has received letters from remorseful visitors who returned the objects they took, describing terrible misfortunes that began shortly after their visit. Unexplained accidents, bankruptcies, illnesses, and even sudden deaths have been attributed to Bodhi's curse. But is this just superstition, or is something really haunting this ghost town? Now imagine a place where the ground has been burning for decades and the streets are always covered in smoke. Centralia, Pennsylvania, is one of the scariest settings you can find. In 1962, a fire broke out in an underground coal mine and was never put out. The fire spread through underground tunnels, cracking the asphalt, engulfing houses and releasing toxic gases. Authorities tried to contain the flames, but it was futile. Over time, the city became uninhabitable. Today, Centralia looks like something out of a horror movie. Deserted streets, traffic signs to nowhere, broken sidewalks, and smoke coming out of cracks in the ground. But what really intrigues are the reports of those who still visit the city. Many people say they feel an invisible presence watching them, hear voices coming from clouds of smoke, and even see shadowy figures walking among the ruins. Some theories say that the fire victims never left the city. Others claim that the earth itself, consumed by fire, has become something that defies the laws of nature. And the scariest thing, it was this city that inspired Silent Hill, one of the most terrifying scenarios in pop culture. But does Centralia hide something even darker than the game itself? Finally, we cross the continent and arrive in the Chilean desert, where we find a city that seems to be alive even without residents. Humberstone, an old mining town, was one of the most important saltpeter extraction centers in the world. But when the market collapsed, workers left, leaving behind empty homes, factories, and schools. However, unlike other ghost towns, Humberstone does not appear to have been completely deserted. The reports about this place are disturbing. Visitors said they heard footsteps echoing through the dirt streets, shadows lurking in factory corridors, and even children's laughter coming from abandoned classrooms. What's most frightening is that many of these stories come from workers who restore the site during the day and refuse to spend the night there. Some believe that the old miners never left Humberstone and still roam the town, trying to finish a job that will never end. These cities are more than just abandoned places. They are living records of tragedies, curses, and secrets that time has not yet managed to erase. But are all these stories just figments of imagination? Or is there really something haunting these places? If you were to spend a night in a ghost town, which one would you choose? What makes these ghost towns even more disturbing is not just their abandonment or their tragic histories, but rather the inexplicable phenomena that continue to occur in them to this day. Witnesses, explorers, and even scientists who visited these places report sounds of footsteps in empty corridors, objects that move on their own, and voices whispering in the wind. In some of these towns, such as Humberstone and Bodhi, there are records of people who left traumatized, claiming to have seen shadows moving, doors that opened on their own, and even human figures that disappeared before your eyes. In the fire-ravaged city of Centralia, drivers crossing abandoned roads report see mysterious figures emerging from the smoke and disappearing shortly thereafter. In Pripyat, there are those who say that even without electricity, lights flicker inside abandoned buildings and shadows move through darkened windows. But the burning question is, what really happens in these places? Are they just echoes of the past? Or is there something still present? Something that has never gone away? Now imagine that you are in one of these cities in the middle of the night, surrounded by absolute silence. Suddenly you hear footsteps echoing down a deserted street. You're alone, or at least you should be. What would you do? If you had to choose one of these cities to spend the night, which would it be? These cities may seem like ruins forgotten by time, but reports say otherwise. Inexplicable sounds, figures that move, lights that flash where there shouldn't be electricity. Each of these places has a tragic past and stories that remain alive, even with no one to tell them. Are they just illusions created by fear, or something much darker lurking in the rubble? And the most disturbing thing of all is that the more these cities are explored, the more reports emerge. People claim to feel presences around them, as if they were being watched. Some say the air feels heavy, as if there is something invisible sharing the same space. What if these places weren't actually empty? If you've made it this far, it's because you're as fascinated by mysteries as I am. But what if I told you that this is just the beginning? There are many other cursed places, buried secrets and stories that the world tries to hide. So, to not miss anything, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell. because the next videos will take you even deeper into the unknown. And of course, if you liked this video and want more mysteries like this, leave a like. This helps me keep bringing you scary content. But wait, the next mystery is already waiting for you. Click on the video that is appearing on your screen right now and discover another secret that no one wants you to know.